Auzu billahi mineşşeytanirracim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Elhamdülillahi Rabbil alemin. Ve salatu ve selamu ala Resulina Muhammedin ve ala alihi ve sahbihi ecmain. Alhamdulillah, we are observing another Ramadan, and we are going the chapter on fasting of Ramadan, which greatly helps me personally to increase my benefit from this blessed month. And the only negative part for me is, as always, it goes very fast. We are already 1/3 away from the beginning. Inshallah, we went through the first 2 points in the first weeks. We'll try to continue from the third point. Colin Abi from Durham and Nazif Abi from New Jersey is with us this week. Inshallah, we'll try to explore starting from the third point for this week. I encourage, inshallah, our volunteer speakers to step in at some point when they want. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن هدى للناس وبينات من الهدى والفرقان. Ramadan being the month of Quran, Ustad gives the tafsir of the ayat, which starts with this from Surah Al-Baqarah. So inshallah, we are going through this tafsir. The third point: one of the wise purposes behind fasting in Ramadan concerns the social life of mankind, and is as follows. Human beings have been created differently as far as the nature of their livelihoods is concerned. Human beings have been created differently as far as the nature of their livelihoods is concerned. As a result of this difference, Almighty Allah asks the rich to help the poor. One way in which the rich are able to understand the pain and hunger of poverty is through fasting and self-denial in Ramadan. If there were no fasting, there would be many self-indulgent rich people who would be unable to understand how severe hunger and poverty can be, or how much in need of compassion the poor and hungry actually are. Compassion for other human beings is an essential part of true gratitude. One who practices self-denial in Ramadan will understand that whoever he is, there will always be someone poorer than he in some respect. Ramadan encourages him to be compassionate towards others. If he himself were not compelled to experience hunger, he would be unable to show compassion to others by giving them the assistance they need and which he is obliged to give. And even if he were able to give assistance without fasting in Ramadan, he would not have experienced the state of hunger himself. And so his compassion would lack authenticity. Third point started very interestingly, which really catches my attention. Although we are in first point, second point, we talk about the rububiyyah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the real thankfulness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and Allah being the owner of all these blessings and bounties. We are just the receiver. Here it's very interestingly makes another impact on my own nerves, Islam does not start saying that, oh, some are rich, some are poor. That's a fact that we all know about, but he kind of approaches it in a different way, which is very uh, practically eye-opening to me. I want to ask to my speakers about it a little bit. He said human beings have been created differently. So most of the time, uh, this is my life. I'm doing my choices, and I'm building it up. I have an effect on my progress, and as a result of my progress, I have some richness, some wealth. So uh, maybe everybody should do the same. They should strive a little more, and uh, this statement is kind of just you know breaks it down, and all the total perspective we have as a modern man to our lives, it is kind of here uh, rejected. Is I don't know, or how can we match these two ideas? He just said that Allah created you in this way. Allah just put you in this position. You're just uh, in that sense, has no share to even claim a right over another one in that sense. So he just put it very clear. Human beings have been created differently as far as the nature of their livelihoods is concerned. So some of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala creates some of us as rich, as poor, as needy, as more uh, capable or more wealthy, having more possession. Any words on this? Maybe Korin Hocam first. You want to step in?
Bismillah. Yeah, it's interesting that you're focusing first on this, because modernity, late modernity, and the influence of democracy and various currents which clamor for certain kinds of equality and liberation want us to believe that everyone is basically the same and should be the same. And I'm not talking about creational differences. I'm talking about social standing. I'm talking about wealth and these things. We have been indoctrinated, unfortunately, by this notion of equity rather than equality. Basically, we have no problem with equality of opportunity. Everyone should have the same opportunity. We shouldn't deprive people of opportunity. But it's very different saying equality of opportunity to saying equality of outcome. And unfortunately, certain political currents, I'm thinking of socialism, communism, and also certain parts of liberalism, want to make everyone the same, want to make outcomes the same. And this is why we now see the proliferation of diversity, equality, and inclusion departments in every organization, in every institution in the West. They want to flatten everything out. They want to make everyone the same. They want to standardize everything. And this is actually going against the creational norm, because there are hierarchies. And I'm not talking about people being better than other people, but there is a difference, and there always has been, and there always will be. And part of our part of our task as human beings is not to obliterate the difference, but to mitigate any negative effects of that difference. And negative effects occur when, for example, rich people don't do their duty towards the poor. And, Allah has put mechanisms in place whereby the gap between rich and poor can be mitigated through charity, well, actually not charity. Zakat is not charity. Through the zakat that people have to pay on their excess earnings or excess ownership of certain things. So basically, this is, Allah has created us differently as far as the nature of livelihoods is concerned. And however we try to militate against this, however we try to agitate against these creational norms, we will never be able to iron everything out so that everyone is equal. And attempts to do that are always toxic and very, very damaging. And all you have to do is look at the attempts to bring about communist utopias, over the past 100 years, or fascistic utopias. It's basically the same thing. You can see that through their failures, why this is an anti-fitri sentiment that they are nurturing, because we cannot eradicate this difference. The difference is there for a purpose.
Mhm.
Yeah, I cannot. Yeah, I cannot agree anymore. Yeah, seriously, I totally agree with Kolin Hocam. Yeah, especially just the part that I just understanding. It just kind of reminds me that just it's also kind of it's an opportunity to see these differences in humanity in every part, actually, in every level, like especially just among humans, and also just in terms of course, I mean, just looking at the social norms as well. It's I see it as a little bit of kind of just opportunity in terms of offering things and worshiping, right? Just it's like seeing that and just acknowledging the fact that yes, we have all these like differences. At the same time, it gives us a little bit of kind of chance to offer things like and compare the results and compare the just what we have been given, right? Not taking everything for granted, and always contemplating and pondering, like it just Allah Almighty had created me in such a way, so then yes, I could have been like this, I could have been like that. Those are like it's been nice, going back and forth and considering those kind of facts and what we have and what we could have or what somebody else has. And especially just like during these like in Ramadan, so just as Ustad just talks about, so like in how just the rich would never just that self-denying and the opposite is like basically self-indulging and in those kind of parts, and especially just it works both ways, right? Not just like thinking about from the rich point of view, but also kind of poor point of view, and having this like humility and everything. So just if you're in such a need and whatnot, and I totally also kind of agree just the other aspect, like and how just others would like to just basically collapse this and just make the outcome and everything like in its standard. So just there is no opportunity for anyone to think like otherwise. Yes, maybe like it's maybe it sounds kind of nice, like it's just having like an equality in this and that, but it just basically it is just a horrible kind of game and kind of plan for future, of course. Just basically it's so we have to like realize, and plus just it's kind of just so natural, right? So as we just pointed out, so it's like how natural everything Allah Almighty created is like from just from any part, like it is even to the extremes, is just basically talks about like his greatness, and for us like just giving us like just please read all these letters, like just how I created and everything, just good or bad, and just like and think about it, just and question yourself, and of course in every step that you take. And I believe just Ramadan it's a great opportunity for all of us to think and just and of course just to worship. Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Nazif Abi. And it was very interesting. Colin Abi said, yeah, I was always looking from the, I don't know, maybe it is the fascist point of view, saying that, oh, the poor should also work to be rich. So, it's kind of their fault kind of attitude. Maybe yes, that when we look from the other side, even people try to match this utopic point of view, right? They try to bring the rich to the same point with the rich and poor together in a way to make them absolutely equal, which is like in the creation there's nothing that like that. It's just Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created us in different situations and different conditions and different I don't know opportunities, different things. So for a purpose, of course, for a purpose.
Yeah, but also just that also kind of remind me just and looking from economic standpoint, actually just looking at the pure economics, it looks like also these the opportunity cost, right? So it's not just like trying to make everyone equal. It's just looking also whoever's got the lowest kind of just opportunity cost can easily come up with like an offer just whatever they have. So just because like just you're rich or poor does not mean like basically you have to just go over like anyone else and just abuse and be better like in every way. No, I mean it's just like every single one of us, God Almighty, Allah Almighty created, and we all have some sort of kind of skill that we can offer. And just if we just think about that, like we don't have to be equal. Like none of the of course just the nations and just the world the countries have to be of course equal. So just because like you have like small kind of land or small natural resources and this and that, you can still find a way. That I think it's like I love the fact that like and especially that the international trade part of it is like it's so beautiful that it just totally matches with the ayah, right? So like that, especially the one that just talks about how Allah Almighty created every single one of us differently, so then we can just like do trade and just be together and somehow like live in a harmony, right? So and it basically, if we look from this aspect, so no, I don't have to be equal. I don't have to be exactly the same with someone else. I mean, even if like I'm so totally different, totally kind of just poor or rich, we all can easily offer something to other people, so then we can trade, we can exchange ideas, we can exchange services and goods and everything. So it's so beautiful, and this, especially this month, is just gives us that opportunity.
So again, in a way, my understanding is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us an opportunity to practice, to observe this reality, because theoretically we might be talking on this for days and nights, but the nerves doesn't get it unless it practices it, right? For example, in the second point, we also talked about it. Let me quote it again if I can find it. So we kind of to thank him then is to recognize these bounties come from him directly. To thank him is to appreciate their worth and to acknowledge our own need for them. So this works kind of both ways. So unless I understand they directly come from him, I don't appreciate their worth really, and does not acknowledge my need for them. I act like they are mine, and it also works the other way around. Unless I acknowledge my need for them and appreciate their worth, I don't really recognize these are directly from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So it's kind of same to me. In the third point, we just if unless I understand that it is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who created us differently, then I cannot stop claiming superiority to another one. It's kind of impossible for me, and it's only possible with experiencing this. So some are rich, some are poor, and then unless I really experience different conditions in my life, now I would start claiming that, oh, this is mine, this is even it's directly given to me, inherited to me. It's like my birthright. It's nobody why another one will come and claim ownership on this. This is kind of...
Yeah, I mean, exactly. So it's just as if like, so it also like gives a great just like for every single just especially the part that you just mentioned, like that acknowledging, right? So like as if it's also kind of it's almost like kind of they're all just like, aren't they like just chain, right? Just like one by one, as if like they are somehow connected to each other, right? So while you're worshiping and practicing and acknowledging Allah Almighty God, right? So and then now and then you're just also then moving on to another chain, and then now just you're practicing also qadar, right? Just like now I know that, hey, just look, Allah Almighty created every single one of us differently, and then just it has to be so. Like, and He chose to create it everything so differently. So it's His. Everything is His, right? Nothing belongs to us. So, but then like once as you start like mentions like our just that when our hand reaches out, as if like in something is like just totally wrong, and let me correct this, right? So like, and implicitly you are somehow like saying, okay, let me just make everything standard, make everything like just different, or this way or that way. No, I mean, it's just practice it, just worship it. It's not just accept, right, and acknowledge that these things are different in life. So then like you're accepting it. You're just going with the flow, right? Just like basically, so this is we can only do so much like in life, not just like more. So it's just, okay, so like just practice that almsgiving and zakat and charities and donate and do something like this, whatever you can, and then just leave it like that. So, or don't like this, basically just give in to your nafs, that evil commanding soul. Oh no, I cannot accept this, or like this, as if like you're entitled so many stuff like in life, so then like everyone has to just like chip in, so boom, like let's just fix this. No, it's just like our just only just task in this life, our only just duty is just basically live like it's just whatever like Allah Almighty told us, and then just worship and find Him, and just be thankful, and just complete our journey in this world. That's about it, I think.
Thank you. I want to ask about this sentence to Colin Hocam. There is one point that took my attention in the translation. So here it's stated that it's only possible for the rich to understand the pain and hunger of poverty through the hunger in fasting. My translation will be the hunger in fasting here, but in this sentence it's stated through fasting and self-denial in Ramadan. So Colin Hocam, is it referring to what we have been talking? So it's kind of underlining the same meaning in a way. So it doesn't just say hunger and fasting, but it says fasting and self-denial in Ramadan. So it's very interesting to me. So, you want to say a few words on this?
What's the original?
Let me read it if you want. Eğer oruç olmazsa nefisperest çok zenginler bulunabilir ki açlık ve fakirlik ne kadar elim ve onlar şefkate ne kadar muhtaç olduğunu I'm sorry. Eğer oruç olmazsa halbuki zenginler fukaranın acınacak acı hallerini ve açlıklarını oruçtaki açlıkla tam hissedebilirler. Oruçtaki açlık, which is simply the hunger and fasting. But here in the translation, it says through fasting and self-denial in Ramadan.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, hunger, I don't think hunger is just for eating, you know. Hunger and fasting. So I'm not sure. I can't remember now what the rationale behind that translation was.
So it's very interesting because it empowers or kind of underlines or kind of stress again the whole meaning of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala kind of created you, me, us in this way. It's not my own ability to just build up this life for me. So it is the self-denial, it's kind of that hunger.
Yeah, in a sense, we're denying ourselves in the sort of physical sense, or in the how can I say, in the external sense of not eating, but actually what we're denying is the illusion of ownership that the self has. So it's self-denial in a literal sense, it's denying that the self is able to do anything. And this itself is one of the big wisdoms of Ramadan, because this is built into the creation. Fasting is actually built into the creation. We fast every day for 8 hours when we sleep, and that's why we say we have breakfast. We break our fast. So fasting and this kind of self-denial and submission, these are baked into the creation.
So this is the practice of self-denial, right? Again, from the very beginning, Ustad just brings this meaning again and again on the table. Although I'm thinking that all these are mine, now I just deny it. I don't just enjoy them as I wish, but I enjoy them according to the wish of the owner. So I just self-deny, right? My ownership.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, and there's a performative aspect of it because we empty our stomachs of everything. In other words, the fact that we're not putting anything there, we may think, well, what's left for us? Well, actually nothing, because we can't sustain ourselves. And this is what this is showing us. We cannot sustain ourselves. An empty stomach cannot sustain itself. An empty thing has nothing to sustain itself with. And we are empty, basically. And I don't just mean our stomachs. We are empty of the ability to act, the ability to create, the ability to, do things, basically, on a very, very basic level. So Ramadan is a very, very good example of this inability of human beings to own and act.
Thank you. Yeah, this was a very nice translation. In that way, kind of bringing the same meaning on the table. if there were no fasting, there will be many self-indulgent rich people who will be unable to understand how severe hunger and poverty can be, or how much in need of compassion the poor and hungry actually are. Compassion for other human beings is an essential part of true gratitude. One who practices self-denial in Ramadan will understand that whoever he is, there will always be someone poorer than he in some respect. This is very interesting to me. Ustad again repeated this. This was in the second point too. Compassion for other human beings is an essential part of true gratitude. In the second one, he was also saying it's the key to the true gratitude. Any words on this? Unless we practice this compassion towards others, we are not really able to give shukr to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in a way. So it's any thoughts on this, Nazif Abi? I don't know if you have anything in mind on this.
Yeah. Oh, well, just thinking about it, just I guess it's doesn't he say like in especially whoever reads like as a North student, right? So like who's who's reading Risala just every day. So one of the most important part of course, I mean, just our job is to offer thanks. So in this, of course, I mean, just the field. And I bet, like, I mean, that offering thanks is just as it says, like essential part of offering this, like being gratitude, being thankful, is just showing compassion. So and just how great opportunity to practice that compassion in Ramadan, like in almost every year. So finding that the chance like to offer like over and over, like some feeling, just in a thankful and gratitude just for the whole part of the day. And I'm in love with especially just like being self-denial in Ramadan. So like other than fasting, and finding another way to call it, it's beautiful. So yes, I'm in self-denial. So now just I am practicing it. And sometimes you feel like it is how just like your every single point of your life. So like you smell the coffee and you just like look around like and everyone is like enjoying, but then you're just like doing whatever you would like. But at that moment, so you're learning, right? So it's a great it's a great task, I guess, like every single year that we practice. And then you start like feeling this a little bit of kind of just connection with other people like who are in that situation. So and yes, like even like just even if you cannot do anything, so just having that just that contemplating that within yourself is, I think it's more than enough. So it just that sort of kind of feeling is you're just fulfilling your task, I believe, right? So just because Allah Almighty knows what you have like in your heart. So if you feel that sort of kind of compassion, and I mean, if you do not have the chance that I'm kind of assuming, so if you cannot do anything, but still, if you have that sort of kind of thinking, so that's beautiful. That's more than enough. So and the just you see like the following sentence, following paragraph, just basically just tells you like what else you can do. Well, it encourages him to be compassionate towards others and himself. We're not compelled to experience hunger and just show the compassion. So it's kind of like he's been moving forward, right? Just so yeah, that part, like, and I really love it.
Mm-hmm. So it's really the in our futra, in our nature, we just feel the compassion. We feel the need to give thanks, to offer thanks for even a small favor. But again, back to this self-denial, unless we practice it, it's kind of impossible, I guess. We just start claiming, oh, yeah, there was some conditions, there was some circumstances I was in, but at the end of the day, this is mine. I just got it. Now everybody should do the same, or uh, this is my right, kind of. Then it's impossible to really feel the compassion. That it's kind of, I don't feel it. I'm just not there. I mean, I don't have the ability to even analyze the true conditions now. I'm kind of in my own utopic, self-indulging position. I don't even feel that now. Even I have this fake compassion. I'm kind of, I'm sorry about you, or the guy, or whatever, but I'm not there, because I don't really feel it. It's very interesting that the nerves doesn't want to see this. Uh, I'm really in self-denial. I'm denying the truth in this case. And one who practices self-denial in Ramadan will understand that whoever he is, there will always be someone poorer than he in some respect. This is also very interesting, because most of the time now, nefs jumps from one side to the other. Okay, Allah is the rich one, kind of. So I'm the poor guy. How can I am in need of help myself? So how can I offer help to the others? In a way, maybe this comes from, in a way, I'm good statement. I'm just self-subsisting, I'm enough for myself. I'm just running my own ship, and I don't expect much from others, but how can I help them? I'm just in this.
Yeah, and also, just isn't it a great opportunity? Just again, like we're saying, very similar kind of, but just and breaking that familiarity, right? So just familiarizing ourselves, like in life, it is a good thing. But within the year, right? So like, if you just do not practice, like, this compassion, this Ramadan, and if you do not observe this, so it's just like, basically you don't have. So you cannot break this familiarity. So just in such a way, Allah Almighty wants us to break this, and inshallah, just to get out of your, like, just your comfort zone. So like, and practice this, and see, like, just how it goes, and at the same time, you're also acknowledging, like you just said, so I don't own this, right? I don't own this body. I don't own anything around me. So and also, like, we can easily see, just with compassion and everything, so like, how our hand is very short in terms of, like, and just let me just put it this way, like, just philosophically, so that in creativity, so I cannot do anything, like, an around me. So like, even like, in my body, I don't own this. So like, in that moment, so you're just like, basically, you're just somehow breaking your own nafs, like the evil commanding soul. You're just saying, hey, listen, so you're in short in anything, so you don't have any power of even your body and anything at all, so you cannot fix stuff looking around you. Just practice this, like, see how it goes, and just break this, right? So break that familiarity, and just boom, so now you see, like, and it's it just basically puts you, like, in different people's shoes, and like, and just through, like, just their life and their their glasses, and see the world another way. Don't take in everything, like, in life for granted, and just start practicing. So yeah.
I want to ask Colin, this was very interesting to me. So it's kind of Ustad jumps here to another concept, but maybe there the thought of changes chain is very linked very strongly here. Unless I do the self-denial and accept that these are all given to me, maybe I don't even realize how much I am given. So it's very interesting. It says there will always be someone poorer than he in some respect. So I can't express my thoughts here, but sometimes when I don't, realize how much I was given, I don't even feel the need to share, and then I'm not looking even out there who needs what, and how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can use me as a tool to, as a means to deliver his bounties to the others too. So I'm kind of stuck in the middle, in one side I'm given so much, but I deny them. It kind of, I claim the ownership, and on the other side I'm like, oh, what do I have to share? Anyways, I'm kind of just a regular guy. What can I offer to the others? So any thoughts on this, Colin? It's really very interesting. So it's not just shows the other way around now. Everybody can find someone poorer than he.
I think maybe if it's possible to look beyond the surface meaning, because here obviously by poorer what is meant is economically poorer, poorer in material wealth maybe, and that may be true, but then again you may not be in a position to help anyone economically. Zakat may not be incumbent upon you, and even you may not have enough to give sadaqat even. So what do you do then? You still have to fast, and you still have to understand something. And I think it helps if we understand that food and drink are a kind of shorthand, kind of symbolic shorthand. And bounties also is a kind of symbolic shorthand, because when Ustad Nursi uses the term bounties, I think we know that what he's referring to is the divine names. And the only way that we can understand the divine names is by reflecting. And one of the best ways of reflecting is Ramadan, where our senses are heightened because we have denied them certain things. And we can realize, in a very foundational way, that we don't own anything, and that all of the names and attributes that we engage with and that we experience are not from us. They can't be from us. And, this really shows us in Ramadan that, the divine names, we don't own any of them. So if we can see beyond, helping others who are poorer than us in material wealth, what about helping others who may be poorer than us in understanding, or in poorer than us in people paying attention to them, poorer than us in friendship, poorer than us in many, many other ways, which are reflective of the divine names? How can we help them in those respects? So it's not just, an obligation to help those who are poorer in economic terms, but there are lots of other ways in which people are poorer, which have nothing to do with money. Maybe this is a way, even if it just means praying for people who are maybe, in heedlessness. If we can't help them directly, at least feel for them and pray for them. So, there are lots of kinds of poverty over and above material poverty.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Good point. There's one hadith just written on my wall. It's the page for Ramadan. It says the best sadaqah is that given by one who has little. That's very interesting. Maybe shed some light on this.
That's interesting, isn't it? Because what that is I think what it's hinting at is that you may not have any money to give, but there are other things that you can give if you're not giving money.
Yeah. And especially if you don't have much, like it's like how difficult it becomes, right? So like to practice it, to follow it, how hard it is then. So if you have so little, just think about it. So like in all the variables that you have to go through and just calculate one by one, right? And then you have to do a lot of work to make that let's say just that sadaqah, that zakat and everything, whatever just like that is, like I mean, because you have so little. But if you're rich, if you are so lucky, like so say that I mean just bountiful, like I mean so and well, I mean it's so easy, right? So just even practicing it, just a lot of stuff. So it's so it becomes so easy. So because you're not gonna have to like just think twice, like writing a check or just doing this and doing that. Like if you have, let's just think about like this way. So if you're so skillful, right? So everything becomes like so easy on you. But if you're so if you don't have that sort of like just skills and talents and everything, so it becomes like just so difficult on you. Yeah. So I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah, thank you. It's very interesting how I need to feel the compassion and practice the self-denial to make that sacrifice, while I am having so little and still offering people to share it. But on the other side, if it's just easier to talk about the financial wealth. If you have millions of dollars, to give a few cents away doesn't really matter, or you just don't feel it even. But if you just have few, but now it's a big sacrifice. You need to practice all these things. You need to really feel what the others are kind of going through and experiencing, and having difficulties, and really relate. Then you can only practice that. Otherwise, it's impossible. Or if I have this feeling of fake ownership, I'm just, this is mine, why I'm gonna give it to others. Ramadan encourages him to be compassionate towards others. If he himself were not compelled to experience hunger, he would be unable to show compassion to others by giving them the assistance they need and which is obliged to give. So I have to do this, right? It is what Allah orders on us. It's the condition that he puts us purposefully, so we fulfill this duty. We are different, and we need to see the differences and the needs of each other and share what Allah has given to us. And even if he were able to give assistance without fasting in Ramadan, he would not have experienced the state of hunger himself. And so his compassion would lack authenticity. So this is very interesting too, because in Ramadan it is more hasanat, right? Rewardful to share, to give charity, to give sadaqah, and to share whatever we have with other people. So there is a big purpose behind it, apparently, if you look from this point of view. So even though we manage to give and share, Ustad says here, he will be unable to, feel it. It's kind of lacking something. The word here, it's authenticity, but it's very interesting, So even though I managed to give and, practice this compassion, but it wouldn't be uh, in a fully real sense. That will lack something in it. So any words on this, any reflections on this part? In the text it says, because hakiki o haleti kendi nefsinde hissetmiyor. He doesn't feel that, really in his own nefs. Colin abi or Nazif abi, at this point, any reflections?
You have to experience, don't you? You have to experience it. Anyone, as you said, if you're a millionaire, you can give £1,000 away without feeling it. And you do it maybe either under duress or most likely virtue signaling, which is very big today, just to show that you're virtuous to others. But, true compassion, you have to really experience God's compassion towards you. And one of the ways of experiencing God's compassion is through self-denial. And, Ramadan, shows us in so many ways, not just all of the names of Allah, but in particular, through Rububiyyah, his compassion. And so if you can actually taste that compassion yourself, then, you can empty the mirror of your being so that Allah's shafaqa is manifest there. That's what he wants us to do. He wants our mirrors to be empty, just as our stomachs are empty, and for his compassion to be made manifest in the mirror of our own nafs, so that compassion will, be reflected in the direction of others. It will be real compassion because it will be divine compassion reflected in the mirror of the human soul. And that is how we can have authentic compassion.
Exactly. Just the feeling, just like everything, just whatever just Allah Almighty has given us. So we're practicing it in every aspect, and trying to see and just observe every single just maybe obstacle that we just see like in life, and it's especially that moment, feeling it and just giving up. So I have this, like maybe Allah Almighty has given this type of kind of richness to me, and then like in the sharing with others. Like now, but of course, I mean, at the same time, Ramadan gives us that authenticity, like, and I kind of like it. So like now, just boom. So yeah, I'm feeling it. I'm experiencing it, and now like in this minute, it becomes much powerful, like in a way that I see it now. Just reminded me that like how powerful, right? So like, because now you know what it means. So like, and just in being in self-denial and fasting and feeling that just the obstacle within yourself. Oh, just like this is what some other people go through like in their lives, and just without like just doing this and doing that, like without eating, or just whatever that is, as we just like now just agreed upon, like this, financially, economically, or just like socially, or whatever that is, right? So, and now just if other people are just somehow like feeling this way or experiencing, now I am experiencing exactly the same thing. So now just I understand, right, the importance of of all these like kind of just duties, and especially I also like kind of like that just like kind of from every single aspect, and also just a little bit of kind of also feeling that
Little bit,
oh,
right?
yeah,
Nazif abi,
yeah.
yani maybe not fully understand, but
No,
at
no, yeah,
least I
yeah,
get a
yeah,
gist of it, right? I get a
yeah,
sense
yeah.
of it. Yeah.
Inshallah, yeah, exactly, yeah. But not fully. Yeah, I mean, I wish, like, of course, if fully, but just a little bit. Yeah, yeah.
It,
I
it,
think why it lacks authenticity as well is when
Mhm,
rich people, for example, are just giving their money without thinking. They're
mhm,
thinking that they're doing something for the other person, but
mm,
actually, the sadaqah is there to do something to ourselves,
mhm,
mm,
yeah,
first and foremost. You know, sadaqah is to make us better people. It's not to make other people
mhm,
less poor. That
mm,
may
yeah,
be a side effect, but that's not the point.
mhm,
The point is for us to it's ta'dib, you know, it's to be educated and to be
mhm,
molded in akhlaq Allah, in God-given
mhm,
ethics and virtues.
yeah. Yeah, there's also just I mean, God, Allah forbid, like this is seriously, if we cannot practice it and if we cannot feel it in such a way, I mean, just there is an implicit somehow like it's an implication that just like as if like no we are there to correct it, and our nafs like it just starts getting some sort of kind of just ownership on that. Oh, you see, like I have the power to fix it, like here's my money, here's my power, here's like how I can help you, like just if it weren't for me, so you would have been like this way, that way. I mean, yeah, Allah forbid, like this. I mean, otherwise, just like one by one. So, I mean, just maybe just step by step, like this. I mean, our nafs can easily overcome, like this. I mean, take over our just everything. Just, I mean, so it's just that's why, like, I mean, like, I kind of like it to experience, like, kind of hunger yourself, experience whatever that is, like, on your own, so then you can break that familiarity, your break, or just go against your like an nafs. So yeah, there is someone who's most powerful telling you just practice like or fast or do this and do sadaqah and for your own sake and just learn. Just yeah, yeah, I really love it.
yeah, thank you so much. It reminded me a lot, as most of the time we are just overwhelmed with these rulings, do's and don'ts of the religion.
Mhm,
uh, if we can keep in mind all these details, reminds us the main issues, the main concepts of our creed, or our faith. Because let's say we talked about zakat, right? Sadaqah, it's this many percent and this part of your wealth. So this should all remind me this is not my wealth, right? It is Allah's wealth. So I just go with His terms. I'm not right, giving it away as I wish, but I'm
exactly.
just working in His terms. All these details, I'm trying to pay attention. It should
Mhm,
remind me this, big things that I live for. It is my faith. It is my life, and that's why I'm trying to pay attention. For example, that's very interesting in zakat. uh, the best way of doing it is you go out, right? As in this third point, it's all about the social, assistance and social, helping each other, right? Given a mutual assistantship among the people. So I need to go out and find who needs what, and I need to know the people around me. I need to, just be able to share something with them. Otherwise, oh, give some, a couple of bucks to a charity organization. That's it, but I'm done. I did my obligation. This is not uh, the ideal way of doing it. So all these, details, rulings, even uh, is working, to bring this big concepts into my life, to remind me all these worshipful attitude, inshallah, my servant. Any last reflections? We are kind of over the time. So
Not from me, no.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, I like it. Yeah, this week. Yeah, just a lot.
thank you. سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم وآخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين. Well, Abi, you want to conclude with the short dua, inshallah.
I spoke too much already. You do the dua.
Al-Fatiha, Masal.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you for joining us. Inshallah, keep us in your prayers, especially during these days and nights. May Allah
Just one
give us.
thing about the timing. Maybe next week, although I'm not going to be here myself, because inshallah I'll be in Turkey next week. But this week, it is for people who are in